nomination of a Jubilee Award for committed work to the BTO other than directly to its scientific work comes not just from me, but from all of us here at BTO who work with Murray. Murray is an amazing ambassador for the BTO and is part of the BTO's wonderful regional network. He took on the role of Regional Ambassador for Hertfordshire in 2013 and Regional Ambassador for Kent early this year. He has excellent knowledge of both counties and is passionate about bird recording in these regions. Murray works closely with the bird clubs and is a friendly and approachable person within both these birding communities. Murray's been regional organiser for the Heronry Census in Hertfordshire since 2016 and local organiser for the Wetland Bird Survey for Thames Estuary since 2018 and is a keen surveyor for Webb since 2006. He carries out 3 breeding bird surveys, 2 in Hertfordshire, 1 in Kent, and a waterways breeding bird survey in Kent. He's been an active participant in many BTO surveys over the years, and for Bird Atlas 2011 he carried out timed counts in 17 tetrads in Hertfordshire and 13 in Kent, and submitted over 1,800 casual records. Here at BTO we really appreciated Murray's commitment and care over the last couple of years in Kent, helping out the regional representative during a difficult time and for providing a helpful local contact for BTO supporters. He was a vital link between BTO staff and other members of a regional network in Kent and provided tremendous support to the regional rep. He's now brought together the team in Kent, recently welcoming a new regional representative to the role and once again being the friendly and supportive colleague that we all need in such roles. He has good working relationships with the regional representatives in both Kent and Hertfordshire and is always keen to promote BTO events. Although Murray hasn't been involved with BTO for as long as some, he's an outstanding ambassador for us and works hard to raise the profile of BTO in Kent and Hertfordshire. He regularly attends the BTO regional network meetings and makes valuable contributions to discussions and enthuses others, and is usually leading the way to the Friday night visits to the pub. Congratulations, Murray.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying your AGM. It's a shame it has to be a virtual event like this and that we can't all be together and nattering amongst ourselves, as would normally be the case, but hopefully things will return to normal sooner rather than later. I've actually not attended a Sonic conference before. It's my first time, so it's a pity it has to be under these circumstances. I've always gone along to the regional network events, which I've always thoroughly enjoyed. But anyway, I'm here today to express my thanks and shock and amazement and thrilled delight at being nominated for and receiving the BTO Jubilee Medal. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Dawn, for nominating me and for those people on the board that has supported that nomination. It means an awful lot to me to receive such an award from an organisation that I've enjoyed being a member of and supporting just about all my birding life, really. I've always thought that as a bird watcher, it's important to put something back into your hobby. And I think there's no reason why any bird watcher out there shouldn't be able to put something back via one of the BTO surveys at some point or other. It's always been important for me to feel that I'm contributing in that way. So it's wonderful to receive an award such as this. There's a few people that I would like to just say brief thanks to for supporting me. At the moment in Hearts, that's Martin Ketcher, and in Kent, that's Bob Knight and Robert Watmow, who together with myself, had helped sort Kent out and get things back on track down there, which has been really good. I think we've made a really good progress there. And I should perhaps also thank my wife for putting up with me going out at all hours of the morning or dusk or whenever to do various surveys for the BTO, rather than getting on with catching up with all those jobs around the house or the garden allotment I should be doing. Anyway, it's great to receive an award such as this from the BTO, And I just hope that I can carry on participating in surveys, BTO, in the future, and that the funding continues for that to be the case. And thank you all again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon and your virtual AGM. So just remains for me to say, yay, thanks a lot, wonderful.
I proposed Mike for this award because of his work with and for barn owls. Over the past 30 years, Mike put up hundreds of nest boxes like this one behind me in order to benefit barn owls in this part of Scotland, which is between Stirling and the Trossachs. During this time, across the UK, barn owls have increased massively, and by securing nest sites for them in an area where there were very few to begin with, Mike has helped barn owls to go in this region from just a few pairs to a thriving population. He's also an incredibly knowledgeable and friendly person, and has put his people skills to great effect as an ambassador for barn owls. Each summer, Mike has monitored and ringed the owls that breed in these nest boxes, and has given hundreds of locals the pleasure and pride of seeing firsthand the barn owls that are being raised in their farms and gardens. Mike's efforts to convince locals to host barn owl boxes have been so successful that many have put up boxes of their own, and some have even persuaded their neighbours to put up boxes. Mike has also generously given of his time to support, assist and encourage many newcomers in the area to owl and raptor monitoring. Although he is now retiring from this work, he leaves rich legacies that include a thriving owl population, a huge number of breeding owl records, and a network of enthusiastic box owners and barn owl advocates. People in this part of Scotland are now more positively inclined towards birds, the environment and BTO than they would have been without Mike.
Thank you, Mark, for those kind words. I would also like to thank the BTO for giving me this award of this fine medal, which is great to be given something, a reward for something you really enjoy doing. My first introduction to barn owls was as a child. We lived in a very big old rectory in Cornwall, and I can remember we were trying to investigate some loud snoring from outside the house. We thought there was a tramp sleeping outside there, but only to discover that there were 3 owls sitting on top of some chimney pots on our house. So that was a nice introduction. Anyway, 30 years later, in 1990, I became a ringer, and I started ringing, but I also started making nest boxes and erecting them with the local scout group. This continued for some time, and eventually, when I retired, I sought funding to continue the project right across Central Region. This was a really interesting time for me because I met a lot of new people. I went to estates and farms and big houses where the owners who were keen to have owls, who wouldn't be, and they were taking me around their properties, which was really an interesting time for me. As a trainer, I was able to train a number of volunteers who have gone on now to take over my project to ensure that it continues into the future. 2 of those volunteers were interestingly BTO scientists, Mark Wilson and Ben Darville, who I know will take the project on to a higher plane in the future, which is good. So finally, I would like to thank one of my regular helpers, Mike Hawkins, who's been my safety officer and photographer and has been out with me regularly over the years. And also, of course, my wife, who has fitted in whenever I couldn't find anybody else. And she's been to all my sites and been, well, she's kindly put up with all my late hours coming back after long OWL sessions. So thank you again for this fine medal. Thank you.